Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I posted an update on Xcn telling you all that I just bought $5,000 worth of Xcn, and I briefly explained why. And if you haven't watched that video, it means you're not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on another Xcn Onyxcoin update. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through why Xcn could explode in price in under 24 hours. And you do not want to miss this one, so watch this video until the very end. Now, firstly, it's important to understand where Onyxcoin is currently. It's right at the bottom of a support area, right? And I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of technicals and, support, resistance, etc. But the easiest way to think about this is we're currently at a floor, right? So we're at a floor and price shouldn't go any lower unless we are seeing an official breakout. So if the data is bad, so if we start to see the overall cryptocurrency market fall in value, Bitcoin starts to sell off, maybe make its way towards 70,000, then we will see, as I explained in yesterday's video, around a 30 to 40 percentage point downside move for Xcn. But as I said, because I have macro indicators, I would be able to pull out at break even before that move even occurs. I'm going to talk to you a bit about the macro indicators shortly because it does tie into why price could break out and why price could explode. So we're at a support. For me, it's kind of a no risk scenario for me personally, because obviously I'm paying attention to the macro. But this is what we need to understand. If we see Bitcoin make its way towards 88, 90,000, and why will that happen? Because of the macro. Tomorrow we have a massive announcement, right? Donald Trump will be announcing trade tariffs, new trade tariffs, and we're going to see what effect this has on the market. Now, investors and traders right now are very tentative. You have some people leaving the market. You have some people, buying more because they believe that, a lot of the data has already been priced in. That's kind of my sentiment as well, but we're prepared for either scenario. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Wait, slow down. What does this all have to do with Xcn and Onyxcoin? And I'll explain what it has to do with it. And if you understand this, you will stop yourself from being wrecked every single crypto cycle. Now, what 95% of crypto investors and traders don't understand, especially the majority of the people buying Onyxcoin, is that ultimately all of these markets are correlated. And that macro data, the stock market, the indices market, that big news data that we're going to see tomorrow, right? The Trump tariffs, the employment US figures that will be released this Friday. All of this has a significant impact on the overall cryptocurrency market. Is a knock-on effect. So if you can predict and understand what's happening over the market on that side, then you're able to predict where Xcn will go next. And that's one of the main reasons why I bought Xcn, because the way I see it is the data so far, the actual macro market is moving to the upside, which is why we're starting to see Bitcoin make its way back above 84,000 now, and that will spill over into Xcn. So if the tariff data tomorrow, investors and traders don't actually, sell the market, right? Don't abort mission and hold their position strong and start buying, as historically speaking, the stock market and the crypto market typically does well in the month of April, right? So if that trend persists, then we should see Xcn go completely parabolic, and this could all take place from today. So the way I see it is this: I would rather buy early. Now, even if it's a fake out, see price go up maybe 30%, maybe, as a target I gave yesterday. I think we will break this this range first, and then everybody will start buying, right? But I would rather be in a situation where I'm buying early, price moves to the upside. Now, even if the data is bad and the data is negative, guess what happens? By the time the sell-off happens, it just takes me back to my break-even point. Whereas if you wait to buy, so you wait for price to break out, you wait for price to move, what happens? By the time price is here, guess what? You're now seeing price go all the way back down to this area. And how much are you down by? You're down by now 43%. And remember, that's if price holds support. If price moves lower based on the negative data, you could be looking at a 70% drawdown. So what would you rather? Take the plunge now or wait for price to rally and then end up being completely, pushed out of the market, right? Or basically being dumped on. Nobody wants to see that happen. That's why me personally, I'm preparing now, and I understand if the data is, not that bad, and the stock market begins to rally, the indice market begins to rally, Bitcoin begins to go up, then Xcn should go completely parabolic. And this is what we all should start preparing for now, because as I say, if you're not prepared, then you prepared to fail. But let's talk about where Xcn can go now. And again, make sure you're all subscribed, because I will be posting Xcn updates daily. If you made it this far, congratulations. Join the free Telegram group. The link is in my description. And I actually talk more in depth about the macro and how you can protect yourself from being completely wiped out this bull cycle. And I've got a video in that free Telegram group where I show you to make 100,000 in 1 month and 16 days, completely free. In my free Telegram is pinned to the group. Remember to download the Telegram app before clicking the link in my description. Otherwise, the link will not work. But let's continue. So where could we see Xcn go next? Now, I've given you the short-term targets. Obviously, we got 30, 40, percent, whatever. But if we start to see momentum continue and Bitcoin starts to make its way towards 109, I think we could comfortably see price at least come close to its all-time highs before the market tanks again. So before the market sells off, we could see Xcn at least 3 to 4x from our current price area. And again, this is just modest percentage gains. This really should be the bare minimum. If Xcn cannot achieve this, right, by the time Bitcoin goes back up to 109 or maybe creates a new all-time high and goes up to 111,000, if Xcn cannot at least achieve a 3 to 4x, well, you probably want to get out before then, right? But anyway, this is modest percentage gains, right? We do have an X target, as I was mentioning in yesterday's video, at 0.0908761. So ultimately, this is the range, right? So this is the range. This is the area you want to be paying attention to. So back to even just below this area, 3 to 4x, or potential 9x or 10x from our current area on Bitcoin's run towards 109, 111, or potentially even up to 120, right? So no matter which way you look at it, there's massive percentage gains to be here. And of course, if you want a full-on exit strategy, you can join my Crypto Crew Premium channel using the link in my description. This is where we're going to actually walk members through our exits. So there's a lot of projects that we have that we're expecting to catch 10x's on, 50x's, 30x's, 100 plus x's within the next few weeks. And those 100x's are on nano cap projects under a $2 million market cap. We have some projects around $15 million market cap, etc. So if you want access to all of this, you can join our Crypto Crew Premium channel. But obviously, if you just want to know where to exit on Xcn, then obviously you want to join Crypto Crew Premium right this second, right? But let's continue. Now, this is obviously a range. This is an area that we're looking at. I know some of you are thinking, but what about Xcn hitting $1? And again, please make sure you subscribe, because I did speak about this yesterday. What about Xcn hitting $1 or $2 or $10? And ultimately, this is actually why most people do end up getting wrecked, because they could make a fortune, just like those of you who bought Xcn maybe, at the end of November, and you made, let's say, a 40 plus X, 43X, right? Or if you're somebody that bought at the start of January, right? Let's go to the start of January, and you made, an 18X, 40X if you bought in October, 18X if you bought at the start of January, right? But instead of capturing these gains, utilizing this and taking profit and then buying back in at the low, like what's happening now, you held on, and now the majority of those profits have been wiped away. Now, here's the thing. What if price doesn't actually go back to all-time highs and only achieves 100 or 200% in the next few weeks? Well, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to want to take profit, because all you're going to be thinking about is when you were at 40X or when you were at 18X, etc. And really, although you should take profit there, you're not going to. So these are all the things that we have to navigate. These are all the things that we're going to have to, to look at, to talk about over the next few days / weeks. So once again, make sure you're subscribed. And as you can see, based on Bitcoin's price movement, we're already starting to see XCN move. So let's see how high we can go over the next 24 hours. I think maybe, 15 or 30 percentage point move. We should at least touch the top of this range pretty soon if we see a sustained pump on Bitcoin and alts. But let's see what happens. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all in the free Telegram group. I'll see you all in Crypto Crew Premium. And remember, nothing that you see in these videos is financial advice. Always make sure to do your own independent research. And until the next update, guys, seize the day.